This episode was made possible thanks to generous supporters on Patreon. Good day, guitar fellows, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Zerner's Guitar Lab. Do you get stressed and make a lot of mistakes when you play on stage? If so, this video is right for you because today I'm going to share with you a few tips that can help you to perform well on stage. So let's get started. Playing on stage is the ultimate test of our ability to perform music, and every one of us has failed at least once at this task. The reason for that is that usually we are not prepared, and that's because we don't really know how to actually prepare for such a thing. Playing your material over and over again and mastering technical performance is unfortunately not enough to prepare you for performing on stage. I've been asked a lot about how I deal with this situation, so I decided to make this episode for you to share some of the tips that I personally discovered and tips that I gathered along the way from other people that I work with. Many of the great musicians out there claim that what we do on stage is roughly at around 70% of our actual ability. This means that everything you want to play live, you have to be able to play it significantly better during your practice sessions and rehearsals than what is required for the actual live performance. Of course, this is applicable to all kinds of situations like recording a track or album or shooting a video, because all of these situations have one thing in common, and it's the red light syndrome. And if you're like me and you still have stage fright, even after many years of performing with many bands and many events and so forth, you know that every time you have to deal with this problem over and over again, so these tips will definitely be useful to you. The general guideline is to make yourself as uncomfortable as possible during your practice sessions and rehearsals so you can be prepared for all the weird and unpleasant situations that you might encounter during live performance. The things that I've personally done are playing with my eyes closed or playing in darkness, playing while I desperately need to go to the loo, for example, wearing uncomfortable clothing and shoes, also listening to the mix through crappy earbuds, or listening everything to a volume that's so low that's barely audible, also changing the mix of the backing track and the guitar in such a way that my guitar is either too quiet or too loud. I've been also playing when I'm extremely tired and sleepy or sick with headache, and playing in too hot or too cold environment. Also, thing that I find useful is to leave my phone pretty much in front of my eyes and to allow it to bother me with all kinds of notifications that keep popping up over and over and just distracting me all the time. And also, I've been playing my stuff while I watch something, which is the ultimate distraction. Also, what I found very useful is to play on different guitars and different amps and gear, basically change the environment in every possible way, because this will help you to be as independent as possible from the circumstances around you. Sometimes things happen, your guitar might not be in proper condition, or your amp can just fail or whatever. You will be forced to play on a gear that's completely unfamiliar to you. And all of these things, you should be prepared for them because they happen and they happen a lot. For example, I've also been playing my stuff with very low gain or totally dead battery on the guitar, or playing with worn out picks, so you can't get a good sound, and every time you need to do artificial harmonic, for example, and you struggle because it's very hard to do it with a rounded pick. Also, changing the length of the strap of your guitar is also useful to change the environment, because the angle of the hands in certain position, it will be harder for one figures and riffs. In other positions, it will be more difficult for the other hand, or it's just point of being really independent of what's happening around you. In addition, it's a very good idea to be able to start every song from just random spots in the song and just get into the song very quickly. And this is extremely useful when a gear failure happens on stage, because you will get stressed. Suddenly there is no sound. It's either a cable or something else broke, or drunk guys walking around your stuff and just unplugging cables or whatever. And this is a major distraction, and you need to be able to react fast and find a way to produce a sound on the guitar and just continue from where you pick up the song. And the sooner you're able to lock in with the song, the better for you. Also, I said this in one of my previous videos, you can watch it up here. It is extremely useful to spend like 10 minutes before the gig or before the recording or whatever is the stressful event. Simple mindfulness meditation. You just sit there comfortably, you close your eyes and just watch your breathing for 10 minutes and just keep pushing everything away. Keep focused on your breathing. This is extremely useful to learn to keep yourself focused. And being able to keep your focus is really essential to a good performance on stage or in the studio, or where the red light syndrome appears. Also, accept that you will always make mistakes, and the world doesn't end with that. If you happen to make a mistake, don't make grumpy faces and don't wriggle around and show how uncomfortable you are with that situation. Just smile and go on. You won't believe how much relief this can bring both to you and the audience, because nobody likes grumpy and self-centered performance. Of course, besides all of these impediments, you should keep your practice routine smart and efficient in a purely musical way. But this is a very huge topic, and I will make another video especially for that. Today's exercise for you is to find the factors that are the most stressful, the most annoying, and the most distracting to you personally. Because all these things are very personal, and I can't expect the things that will annoy me will annoy you. So this is why you need to do certain research and to figure out what works best for you. And then you just include these things in your practice routine, and the more the gig or the recordings approaches, put more and more of them and make your discomforts more and more intense. And in such a way, you will be prepared for many different negative outcomes. And when you go on stage or in the studio, you will be actually relieved, because most of these scenarios are not very likely to happen. But even if they happen, you will be prepared for that, so there's nothing to worry about. So that's everything for today's episode. I hope you find this video useful. Thank you very much for watching, and consider supporting me on Patreon up here and on the links down in the description, where you can get access to all kinds of interesting things for just $3 per month. Also, subscribe to my channel and click that bell button to get informed when I upload new video. See you next time, and remember, practice makes perfect.